Hello and welcome to another railway journey on the Cumbrian Coast Line. Today I've come around 24 miles to the northwest of Barrow-in-Furness to the rural station of Bootle. The section of line between Ravenglass, Port Eskdale and Bootle was opened by the Whitehaven and Furness Junction Railway on the 8th of July 1850. Just look at these beautiful station buildings, which were built from red granite and sandstone. Originally, the design was used on many of the stations here on the Cumbrian Coast Line, but today only 3 exist, here at Bootle, as well as Drigg and Ravenglass. I was interested in this inscription on the cast iron guttering of the station building with the initial FR 1873, by which date the line was under the ownership of the Furness Railway. Also taking pride of place on the station building was this original station clock, Johnson and Court Limited of Whitehaven. Looking across onto platform 2, I was really interested in this station waiting room, which dates to around 1873 and a likely design by the architects Paley and Austin. The structure is Grade 2 listed, given its architectural and historical importance. The layout of the waiting room is largely unaltered, and the architectural design of the building is in the spirit of the arts and crafts movement. The waiting room contains a plaque commemorating the bravery of a driver, Harold Goodall, and his fireman, Norman Stubbs. On the 22nd of March 1945, a wagon containing depth charges in a southbound freight train caught fire as it approached the station. Becoming aware of the fire, the train crew stopped the train to the south of the station. The crew isolated the burning wagon by uncoupling the rear portion of the train. With the wagon isolated, the fireman went forward to protect the northbound line, while the driver went back in a possible attempt to fight the fire. It was at this point that the depth charges violently exploded, killing the driver and creating a crater 105 feet long and a depth of about 50 feet. The line was closed for 3 days whilst the crater was filled in and the track relaid. You're looking now at the original goods shed, which dates to around 1863. It's very reminiscent, this building, of the one that I saw at Drigg Station. There was also a goods yard with a crane, as well as a coal depot and a weighing machine, together with a loading dock. This brought back memories of my visit to Drigg Station a few weeks ago, with these manually operated level crossing gates. It would have been a site that had been part of the rural railway scene for many, many years, but it's increasingly rare today. Let's hope that it doesn't fall prey to modernisation. Well, I've now left the railway station and I'm taking a walk of about a mile or so into the town of Bootle itself. According to my 1861 Bradshaw's Guide, Bradshaw said that the town had a population of 811, which when I checked was a little higher than the last major census that was carried out back in 2011. Bradshaw went on to say that the town was engaged in the corn and provision trade and is delightfully situated in the midst of beautiful scenery, commanding fine views of Bootle Fell and Black Combe Mountains, 1,919 feet high, the latter of which has remains of a nunnery and church at Seaton. Bradshaw's handbook also mentioned St Michael's Church, which I shall be visiting shortly. Well, it's been another beautiful visit to a lovely station, rural station on the Cumbrian Coast Line and a delightful market town at Bootle. The Cumbrian Coast Line has delivered some really memorable days out for me this year. Thinking back to videos that I've already made on the Roman town at Maryport, the coastal delights of Flimby, the rails which circled the world exhibition at Workington. Then there's the picturesque coastal villages of Harrington and Parton, as well as the beautiful harbour at Whitehaven. There was the former coal mining community of Corkicle, the very pretty village at St Bees. There was Sellafield, the site of Britain's first nuclear reactor. Then there was the Victorian seaside resort of Seascale, and finally the quaint rural communities of Drigg and Bootle. But there's still many more stations to see and explore on this wonderful railway. Finally, thank you for joining me on these rail journeys and for supporting my YouTube channel. Stephen Bennett's Railway Adventures.